You know exactly what you need to do today. It's sitting right there in your face, basically. The story is, and you still can make yourself start being productive, right? Here's the thing, that's not discipline. That's not a problem as such. For most people, they can do it naturally, but it's not laziness either. It's a thinking problem, our mind. And the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you, it's going to give you CBT based tools that work on the actual thing that's really helping you overcome it. So, not just your to do list, but let's get the ball rolling. So, why most productivity advice is out there and missing the point? Well, it can be a challenge for most of us in general because it's hard. Like, it's easy to just be in a slump and be unproductive and not being energized. Sometimes it all comes down to not having enough energy and feeling like you're in a slump. So why most productivity advice assume your brain is a schedule problem and a calendar, better app, better morning routine, and suddenly you're a productive machine. But to me, it's also about having the right healthy sleep, having enough hours. I know 10 hours at least the most is important for my body. Not everybody needs the same, but as long as you get good quality of sleep, you will be able to function. So really, it's to do with all what's going on. So most productive things, advice out there, assume that your brain is a schedule machine and it's hard really to get that far anyways. So if you're ever knowing exactly what to do and still sat at the very frozen part and scrolling on your phone instead of actually opening the document, and you're all ready, and then know that it's not the real issue here, right? Even though, yes, your phone can be a part of the problem, which is common because we all really go on TikTok, all that rubbish. Can't stand TikTok myself. Oh, drives me crazy. I'd rather have Instagram because it's less stress and less rubbish. There's just so much negative things out there in technology. It's just yucky stuff. Cognitive behavioral therapy is built on basically the simple idea of your thoughts shape your feelings, and then your feelings shape your behavior. So how you deal with that is up to you, but really the real issue here is not being in that mindset of the other. It's mainly to do with how we perceive ourselves as, and basically dealing with the situation. So if a thought like, this is going to be overwhelming, or I'll probably mess it up anyway, shows up before you even start the task. Yeah, I can procrastinate on filming for you guys. Yeah, some days I feel lazy and cold and miserable and I can't stand winter. But there are days where it's sunny and beautiful outside, like today. So it all comes down to how we think and feel. And just projecting you from your body's protecting you, basically your brain mostly is protecting you from all the feelings except for the bad stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's not doing any justice, really, is it? And these 5 tools work upstream of that, and let's get really into a lot of these. Catching the thought. Before you can change, the thought that's stopping you is actually, you have to actually catch it. Yeah, that thought can slip through the mind, and most procrastination thoughts are so fast and so familiar, and they feel like facts instead of thoughts, actual real thoughts. And so next time you actually notice yourself avoiding a task, say for example vacuuming, we all hate vacuuming because it's all cleaning, it's all a mission and a chore really, but I try to make things a little easier for myself somehow. But what just went through the mind right before I pick up the phone instead, for example, you need to send a difficult email and you are in your inbox, and the close time it is like a check social media, and it's like that feeling, and it's instead you're being in a run by it, and really you should be in a position to do it, and they're just being annoying little zods, or just all these random little things that you experience, and it's not a healthy place. And thought is a prediction, not a fact. So once you see in writing, you can start to work it instead of being run by it, being run by the thought and the feeling. So try and notice the thought and feeling, catch it, write it down, even in a journal. Every time you really struggle with a task, put it through your journal, write it down, even just one sentence. By the end of the week, you'll start seeing a pattern of behavior that you keep doing. So really, it all comes down to the next mission, which is the 5 minutes from a CBT technique, which is also called behavioral activation. And it's one of the most well-supported tool for breaking avoidance. The idea is simple. Action comes before motivation and not alter, but it is a challenge. You are going to feel like you're struggling and feel uphill battle instead of committing to it. So just only 5 minutes on the task, not finishing it, but even the progress of it, just 5 minutes. Set a timer, do only that 5 minute thing, and see where you go. Motivation follows action far more than it leads it. And people get mistaken when they read books about productivity, especially one that came out about productivity in a different aspect. And it was very interesting, but it didn't really address the issue of an everyday lifestyle for anyone who is just doing this simple basic thing and struggle with it every day, especially when you're depressed. It's not simple, but you get there eventually, right? So what actually happens almost every time is that 5 minute roll break, and your emotional barrier will change and start turning that page. Now, tool 3, the cost benefit check. And in advance always feels safer than the moment of choice, but the tool makes the trade-off visible. And instead of automatic pilot, take your avoidance and quick answer to all of those questions. And what does putting that thing off cost me? And what does it do to cost me that? And that's important to And writing side by side each one really wins avoidance, and that your brain is very good overweighing the pros and cons of short-term discomfort and starting to underweigh long-term cost of what is doing to you in general. For example, when you're meant to be exercising, you're going to put on weight, aren't you? So really looking at pros and cons. So the next one is tool 4, valuing-based prioritizing. Instead of valuing the based prioritizing, not everything on your deserves the same emotional weight. It is CBT, it is useful filter here, values the based actions and really looking at it in a different aspect. What is urgent and what isn't? So really, can you do those 3 things at least that day? Urgency. What's the loudest? What speaks that value important to you? That time and time of the day, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something, what are those things? And the urgency will always shout the loudest. So be determined to take care of your health though, building something you're proud of and deserve that priority because it is important. Even I know from my own experience, avoiding these health issues, I learned that from my own mistakes. And I know how important it is to take care of yourself now. And I've got enough health issues of my own. And here I am learning so much. So at the start of your day, pick one task and finish the sentence. Doing this today matters because it reflects the value of ... And then go from there. And tool 5, be kind to yourself. That's the last one on my list, but it might be the most important one for all of us in general. When you value it and fall behind it, you're less harsh on yourself. You're really not criticizing yourself. You will motivate you back into action instead of actually being, negative towards yourself. But it's just how it goes with these type of things. Being kind to yourself, and actually it shows the opposite with self-criticism instead of avoidance, and self-compassion follows through. So when you notice the inner voice that says something, you're so behind, what's wrong with me? What's so wrong with me that I can't do it right now? All these negative things. That's not letting you actually get off the hook. That's actually removing the shame and being you frozen to actually move on. So really look at what you value and be kind to yourself. Talk positively to yourself instead of actually downgrading yourself, because negative mindset does not do any justice. So really, let's look at the recap. So let's bring it together. Catch the thought behind the avoidance, use the 5-minute rule, and then run the cost benefit check, and then the trade-off visible and prioritizing values and urgencies. And when you slip, and meet yourself with the self-compassionate side, reset instead of criticism. So if you ever need any more help, I hope this was helpful to you. I'm here at any time. Please leave me a message or a comment down below, and subscribe for more CBT tools and which one you see that is first trying to deal with the next. And I will see you guys on the next episode.